Call them visionaries, the forward-thinking men and women who looked out across the years to see that a vibrant, growing community needs a modern hospital with best-in-class doctors and the latest technology to minister to its coastal North County needs. Call them men of action, the local businessmen and community leaders who rallied to pass the first revenue bonds to create Tri-City Hospital. It took 9 years of politicking, organizing, and fundraising to open Tri-City Hospital's doors in 1961 on a 25-acre lot, once owned by Olympic figure skater and Hollywood actress Sonia Henney. They were businessmen active in their city's Chamber of Commerce: Oceanside's Gene Guile, Vista's C.H. McLean, and Carlsbad's Chris Christensen. 50 years ago, residents of North County gave birth to Tri-City Hospital, and Tri-City has been birthing generations of North County's best ever since. It was a time of innocence and great promise in America. Rock and roll was the buzz, and the space race a coming dream. It was a time of paradigm-shifting invention and advancement in medical technology that continues to this day at Tri-City Medical Center. Through 50 years and several generations, Tri-City has grown up with the communities and its people, mending the broken bones and bruises of surfers, little leaguers, and weekend warriors, tracking its sons and daughters from birth through parenthood into their golden years.
When Tri-City Hospital opened, that gave me a real sense of renewal and growing and developing of the community. I could see the possibility that that would continue to develop with medical advances, with new equipment, with new diagnostic materials, and indeed that did happen.
Tri-City opened with 87 beds and 42 doctors supporting the region's agricultural pursuits. Then, a vast patchwork of rolling hills of tomatoes, strawberries, flower fields, and wild artichokes, coastal North County has grown into an urban metropolis of more than 400,000 people. John Mithke was one of the first doctors at the hospital. As a part-time farmer himself, his patients were sometimes unusual.
My goat got sick one day, and I thought, they call it the bloats. So I talked to Phil Wilson, who was the surgeon, and I said, Phil, I think I'm going to have you operate on my goat. And he said, well, I'm not operating on one without some x-rays. So I brought my goat over, and we did a barium enema on this goat. And
as a young nurse anesthetist new to the region, Rosemarie Reno, now the medical center's board chairperson, remembered her unusual introduction to Tri-City.
And I was mowing the lawn, and without thinking, I put my hand down to remove some debris from the lawnmower, an electric lawnmower, and cut my fingers laterally. Ended up coming to the hospital here in the emergency room and meeting up with Dr. Byron and Mitchell Sr., an orthopedic doctor, who sewed my fingers back on, had full movement, and he told me, he says, I can't promise you 100% take, but you work with me and I'll work with you. So while I was on the table and he was repairing my fingers, he said, I want you to come over here to this hospital to work, young lady. And I said, well, thank you, doctor, I'll think about that. And he said, no, you're not thinking about it, you're coming over here as soon as you're able to go to work.
From sleepy flower capital to a thriving regional economy, coastal North County industries include biotech, life sciences, golf, and tourism. The area is a leader in growth and development. As a part of that movement, Tri-City is leading the way with advanced technologies, such as the recent cardiac cath lab that helps doctors assess and treat patients with heart problems, and the Da Vinci surgical robot that translates the doctor's hand movements into miniature movements for precise control of tiny instruments inside the patient. Tri-City's Da Vinci surgical robot is the most advanced system available. From community hospital to regional healthcare leader, Tri-City has grown up too. Now known as Tri-City Medical Center, the hospital has been in an almost constant state of growth since its inception. Today, Tri-City Medical Center is licensed for 397 beds in 3 wings and employs 2,200 people. The Cardiovascular Health Institute is the first of 3 one-stop, patient-centered solutions. With the recently opened Orthopedic and Spine Institute, patients now receive multidisciplinary, comprehensive care delivered in a patient-centric concierge model. Advanced equipment like the 64-slice CT scanner supports the institutes. The imaging machine gives doctors multi-slice views of their patients' internal functions. And CyberKnife, a 3-dimensional robotic laser capable of delivering precise beams of radiation to cancerous cells anywhere in the body. Tri-City's commitment to comprehensive, high-quality healthcare and innovative therapies attracts top physicians from around the world. That commitment is paying dividends.
Tri-City is not just a community hospital, it's practically a center where very, very fine specialists and primary care physicians join together to serve the community. And these are doctors trained in probably the best academic centers in the nation, but they decided to come out to a community and be doctors. So this medical center really combines the fact that it's owned by the city, serving a community, and serving by a nice community of very fine trained doctors.
Tri-City is a great hospital. I'm really happy to be here. When I first came, they opened their arms to me, and I knew immediately I could trust the labor and delivery nursing staff. My colleagues were always there to back me up. The administration was so easy to work with, and the transition really didn't even feel like a transition.
Tri-City is a nationally accredited chest pain center, has nationally certified pulmonary and cardiac rehabilitation centers, and is a designated San Diego County Heart Attack Receiving Center. The Joint Commission bestowed 2 gold medals on Tri-City, one for the highest level of patient care and the second for outstanding stroke care. And thanks in part to the vision and long tenure of its neurologists and interventional radiologists, Tri-City received the Gold Plus Performance Achievement for Stroke Care in 2010 and 2011 from the American Heart Association.
I have no doubt that the chances of my surviving it were greatly enhanced by the fact that I had the medical team at Tri-City be the ones to take care of me.
I will never, ever be able to repay what's been given to me.
Joshua was basically born lifeless. My first feeling and my first thought was, am I gonna have to bury my son or be able to love him? After about 15 minutes, I heard Dr. Mo say, we have a heartbeat. So I knew he was gonna be okay, and that's when I knew that God had sent me an angel.
Tri-City's 2,200 employees live in the region, adding millions in local dollars to our regional economy.
So hundreds of millions of dollars in and out of this hospital every single year. It's the largest employer in this region because as the hospital grows and the business community around it grows, it's the sign of the future that we really need. We're signaling that by every time you see a grand opening or a coming soon or a story in the paper about a new MRI machine or something that keeps this hospital on the edge of the future.
The hospital is the largest single economic engine in the 3-city area of Oceanside, Vista, and Carlsbad. Our budget this year is $370 million of net revenue. We will far surpass that next year. We already have contracts in place that we believe could bring us an additional $100 million in net revenue next year. However, using just the base that we're on right now, SANDAG has opined that at our current level, we produce over $450 million of economic value to the 3-city area that we serve. So obviously as we grow in importance, as we grow our base of physicians and surgeons and our economic power, that number will grow exponentially as well.
For the people and communities of the Tri-City region, our stars are bright. Like the men of vision who saw our future 50 years ago, We now look into the middle of this century, fully aware of our role in the community and our responsibility to it. Plans are in place to ensure that Tri-City Medical Center continues to lead with advancements in healthcare and the growth and prosperity of our sons and daughters, and theirs beyond them.
We have an opportunity now to rebuild the hospital sometime between now and the year 2030. We want to do that soon. We want to start that building process soon. We're going to need the support from the entire community, every business person, every resident, everyone who either uses the hospital now or may need to use it in the future. So we're asking for the support of the entire community in this effort to make Tri-City the #1 hospital in San Diego County.